Our last escapade of the summer is a 2-day stayover right outside of Wind Cave National Park. We are visiting family, my aunt and uncle specifically, who recently bought property right on the edge of the Black Hills National Forest, which is about 30 minutes away from Wind Cave. And so we wanted to sneak in a visit to see them, see their new place, and hike in the park. After a bunch of scheming, we figured out that with their help doing car shuttles for us, we could actually finish all of the miles of trail in Wind Cave, making it our 14th park to be finished. So we did a short hike with them yesterday, and today we have set out to the park on our own and gotten started, and they're going to meet us at the end of a point-to-point hike, and then we're going to drive over together and finish up our last miles of trail on a family hike. So yeah, it's a good day. Hopefully a good day to finish a park. The trails in Wind Cave wind over rolling meadows and through forests, and they're generally really well maintained. The park system uses posts, pretty thick posts, to mark the paths, and they will occasionally get knocked over, but usually you can see the next one. So sometimes the trail's a little wonky between posts that have been fallen. But generally they're pretty easy to find. You might get lucky and see a bison. We saw one today. You might get really lucky and see my aunt and uncle out here hiking. If you see a bison, you definitely don't want to approach it. Just make sure you keep your space. If it's really close to the trail, you might find that veering off trail for a dozen or so yards buys you more space. But generally they're pretty docile and not interested in humans. Not toward us, just, yeah. I want to get up on the shoulder. We had to maneuver a little bit through this pack of bison. There really wasn't a way for us to get through without hiking between them. We managed to go wide where possible and then skirt the herd by when they paused to graze. We were able to kind of get past them, but we feel a lot better up on this hillside watching them go by instead of being in the middle of them. So today we're hiking a point-to-point from the Lookout Point Trail to the Highland Trail to the Wind Cave Canyon Trail to the East Bison Flats Trail. We're headed north to south, and all together this is going to clock in at about 8.5 miles and 8.5 million mosquito bites. It has been the buggiest day we've had all summer. If you want to hike part of this trail but you don't have 2 vehicles or a shuttle arranged, you can hike the Lookout Point loop. That makes a nice loop back to the trailhead with the Centennial Trail. You can also hike just as far out as you want and then turn back from either the north or south end of this hike. And you can actually access the Wind Cave Canyon Trail from the center of this hike. That just cuts right into the north and south running sections. So there's a lot of options to make different hikes throughout here, and overall they've been very well maintained. We are going to head to the end of this trail, East Bison Flats, where we think our aunt and uncle will be waiting for us. And then we will head up to the Wind Cave Canyon Trail and do an out and back with them. And that will finish up the miles of trail in this park. Well, as promised, my aunt and uncle met us at the end of the East Bison Flats Trail. It's always so nice when people are willing to help us out to pick up some of these point-to-point hikes. So they met us there and drove us up to this Wind Cave Canyon Trail, and we are hiking out together for what will be our last mile of trail in this park. Particularly scenic, I think. It goes through a nice canyon, and it's been a great trail because it's wide enough that we can really walk next to each other and talk as we go. So a really great way to end this park. Our very exciting end of Wind Cave.
There it is. That's the end.
And that's a wrap on our summer trip. Thanks for following along. We hope you enjoyed all the episodes where we traveled to parks in Arizona and Utah and California and Washington and Montana and now down in South Dakota. We had a great trip, 10 weeks on the road. We're never ready to go home, and that's completely true here. But it's time to move on to the other part of our lives. So that's what we're going to do. And we will definitely be seeing you on another adventure as soon as we can make it happen. Yeah, let's actually record with the happy dance on purpose. Turn around.
No, I
Can't do it on. Come on.
on command.
Come on.
Can't do it on command. Yay.